Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Checkpoint on Campus. I'm your host, Jacob Brothers. Joined with me is Norris Howard, Garrett O'Toole, Erica Sidora, and Dom Shotson. And we have so many faces here because we are talking about our top 25 list of collegiate esport programs. Now, we've spent a couple months looking over this list, putting schools together, and while winning is important, it's not the only thing. We've looked through competitive results, programs they're involved in, scholarships, and program culture. So obviously, starting with the top five, our top five is Maryville, Akron, Northwood, Harrisburg, and Winthrop. So starting with Maryville, it's not really a surprise that they're here. They're the name that we've heard a million times before, and we're going to hear their name a million times again. They've won CLOL 3 times. They've won Spring 2021 CLOL, or they were runner-up rather. They won the National Overwatch Championship. They got second the Cheez It Grooves Overwatch Championship. And they're just all over the place, involved in League, Overwatch, CSGO, Hearthstone, Rainbow Six, and Rocket League. They gave out $2,000 scholarships. And their program is a winning program, and it's a winning culture. They have pros that walk them through all of the different esports. They have a wonderful facility that also involves dining. They have a great social media presence, and their staff is just well-rounded. And when it comes to a winning program, that's the kind of thing you need to see. Talking about number two, someone who's been following them is Dom. So Dom, what can you tell us about Akron?
You know, a lot of the same things you talked about with Maryville. Akron is, a prestigious program. They've been around for a while, and they've had great competitive results in the past year and beyond. They won the CRL Spring 21 Championship. They won the Level Next Rocket League Showcase. They placed second in Collegiate Hearthstone National Championships in the Spring 21, and they won the Rainbow Six Siege 2021 Collegiate Championship. But, like we said, competitive results aren't everything. They're a great program. They feature, multiple esports. They still have a League of Legends team, CSGO. They're competing in various esports as well, not just the ones that they're placing highly in. And then they have a great program culture. They give $1,000 scholarships to their athletes, and they have a great facility. They have great coaching. We've talked to Hunter Wood on our program before. He's a really great person, really great coach. And, they're a program that's dedicated to scouting locally as well, which is something you don't see from every program. They do national scouting as well, but they like to keep things kind of in-house in Ohio, and you like to see that from that program. So, Akron, really great. They deserve this spot.
Right, and the results have spoken for themselves. But speaking of culture, there's a little phrase that we've come across called let the players play. And Mr. Howard, that was associated with a school called Northwood. What can you tell us about Northwood?
Absolutely, a school that really exploded onto the scene last fall, mostly through Rocket League, but also made a lot of noise in Overwatch as well. Same thing that marks a lot of our top five here. They participate in multiple esports. They win at multiple esports. They place highly in multiple esports. But what Cody Elson, their head coach out there, has been able to do is foster that culture of letting the players come in, play, and dictate sort of the tempo of what they're able to do in the program. Also, they give away scholarships as well. But one of the big things that kind of separated them from the top two, unfortunately, is the fact that Northwood just hasn't been able to get the results in every esport. Whether you have Akron won multiple championships over the past year, Northwood or Maryville won multiple championships or placed into multiple championships over the past year. And Northwood has been really dominant at Rocket League and surprised everybody in Overwatch. I think they're poised to have a really great year this year. There are some rumblings that they've made some really important signings that we hope to be able to bring to you here on Checkpoint XP on Campus. But they're poised to maybe take the number one spot if the other two don't keep up their absolutely amazing pace. So Northwood continues to look very good, and they're going to be one of the most exciting schools to watch over the course of this season.
Yeah, and I'm inclined to agree with you. They keep on doing well. There's no reason that it'll stop anytime soon. But speaking of another program that has gotten close and have gotten championships in various titles, dropping down to number 8, Garrett, what can you tell us about Boise State?
Boise State has been a staple in the collegiate esports scene for a while now. They're led by Doc Haskell. Now, one thing you got to learn about Boise State is they're an organization that does it all. They compete, they do the production, they teach people about esports management, and they're throwing out scholarships and supporting their students as best as they can. Now, although where they fall short and why I believe they don't make the top 5 in this list is that some of their accomplishments are sort of regionalized. They're really great at taking the championship in the Mountain West, but when it comes to maybe a grander stage, a larger audience, that's where they have the tendency to fall short. Though this year they made some great strides. Macy Williams, he was one of their Madden players. He took 2 championships this year. They won the Play versus Overwatch National Championship, so they're making strides in that regard. But what I believe puts them over the rest and why they're so close to striking in to top 5 is their production value that they bring. They have a full-fledged studio and they make sure that they broadcast every single one of their competitions. Doc really leads a tight ship and he makes sure everyone that's involved in the esports program is getting involved. They did over 400 broadcasts in the last year, showing off all of their competitions, and they are going to keep doing more. They really have a top-fledged studio, and if you're trying to get experience in all of esports and not just competition, Boise State looks like a really great spot to land.
Yeah, the energy that Doc brings to that program, it really just trickles down to everything else. So it trickles down to, well, as you said, not even the playing, but also the production. And just that entire program, that culture is really developing in an amazing way, and I can't wait to see more of it. But dropping down to number 12, Erica. Illinois State. What are they up to? Why are they here on this list?
Well, Illinois State's also known as the Redbird Esports, is an up-and-coming league team. They also have other programs involved, but league is their main contender. This is an awesome team. We've seen them play in the CLL championships, and they kick butt, guys. They are ferocious, and they don't know when to stop. However, their fault comes in a little bit of practice. They need a little bit of team management, but their personalities and the unit they bring together in CLL and all their other programs is something to really look forward to. They're an up-and-coming team, as I said, and there's so much room for growth in them. They've won a couple first-place events in the UPL League, spring and winter playoffs. They've also placed first in the qualifier in the Overwatch contenders, so if you're a fan of Overwatch, also look out for the Redbirds. I'm totally excited to see what their culture is like and up-and-coming scholarships for them, as they are promoting scholarships for their collegiate esports players.
Absolutely. We hope you're enjoying Checkpoint XP on campus. We're going to take a quick little break, and then we'll be right back to talk about more of the teams on this list. Welcome back to Checkpoint on campus. We're going to continue running down our list. And starting at number 4, there's an interesting little school that we've heard a lot about, kind of contentious at times. Harrisburg University. Norris, tell me your thoughts about this incredible, interesting university.
You know, Harrisburg is one of the most interesting schools because they haven't necessarily secured the titles that we expect them to win over the past couple years. They're a very, very strong program, absolutely a top 5 program. They will be perennial Overwatch contenders for a very long time, and they will perform at that particular esport for a number of semesters. But there is a concern for me for Harrisburg. Now, we know HU Storm is also great at league, but they have not been able to get past the Maryville hump. And now with schools like Northwood, Ohio State, and others catching up in Overwatch, that might not be the realm that they can feast on as well. So if there's a team that I think actually is in jeopardy of falling out of this top 10 or at least this top 5, I think it's going to be Harrisburg. And one thing that I will say is they are a scholarship school. They do give away scholarships for their program, and they also hold their own invitational. The HUE Invitational is a yearly event that they put on, so they are able to bring a lot of eyeballs to the school. So if you're a top flight player, you will get the eyeballs, you will get recognition playing for Harrisburg, but they have not been able to capture over the past year the heights that they've been able to capture previously, you know, winning the 2019 and 2020 Overwatch championships. They have been dethroned by other schools a little bit. So there is some concern for Harrisburg, but I think ultimately they will maintain form. It's just more of a case of, will other schools be doing better than them? But if you're looking for a program and you got the opportunity to go to Harrisburg, there's not too many places in the country better than that.
Yeah, we forgot that Harrisburg both won and lost an Overwatch championship last year, which is the beautiful organization of collegiate Overwatch. But yeah, and after last year of only hitting, they were in the top 4 of both of those leagues. You got to wonder when that time's going to be, right? Erica, you and I have a darling school that we hold in common that we love and cherish, and that is Winthrop University. What can you tell
Let's
us
get
about
into
Winthrop University?
it.
Yes.
All right, throps out, everybody. Throps out. There is no beginning or end to Winthrop University. We love their collegiate league program. We don't know too much about their Rocket League program, but I'm looking forward to it. They won first place in the CLL 2021 championship. Everybody knows that. Everybody loves them, but they recently got dethroned by Maryville. They're looking for a comeback, though. But let's talk about the program culture, because the program culture is what is up. Okay, these guys are funny. They love to communicate. They love to have fun, and that's what makes them different from the rest of these CLL teams. We talked to the manager of the team, Emily Vu, a couple of months ago, and she said they're adaptable, and that's the perfect word to describe these guys. They are adaptable. They are fierce, and most importantly, they actually like being around each other. You know, that really makes a difference on the Rift and on the map, and I love to see teammates actually be friends and succeed and be secure. So, what do you think, Jacob, about this winning Winthrop team?
I think that their League of Legends success is what CLOL needed. I think Maryville was on top for too long, and for another school to show up and kind of shake up that scene, I think is exactly what CLOL needed. But speaking of universities that are near and dear to our hearts, I have a passion for the University of Texas at Dallas. God bless them. So, Dom, please tell me all of your thoughts about UTD.
Well, UT Dallas, I mean, what an incredible program. We've seen them for years. This isn't a new darling or something that's popping on the scene like a Winthrop or Northwood coming up, like storming up these top 5 rankings. UT Dallas, we got them at 7, and they're there not because of their competitive results, like we talked about earlier. They've had good. They have good teams. They have a good Rocket League team. They have a good Overwatch team. They consistently have gotten into playoffs, but have never really closed out and won any kind of big championships. Their Smash team is elite. They have won national championships in Smash Bros. But that is their main sport that we've seen them really have some great success in. But the thing that we look at UT Dallas for and why we would put them in 7 is just their program culture. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it and we kind of hammered this home with a bunch of other programs. Culture. I mean, UT Dallas, they focused on the players. You can see it across their social media. They do media days like how football teams do for their players. UT Dallas did a media day for their esports athletes this year, coming into the fall. They have a great broadcasting program where they're trying to go into more of the nuances of esports, kind of like Garrett said with Boise State, where they're just going across the whole spectrum of esports, not just competition. They're really looking out for their students. They're trying to build out a program and a culture that will create an esports program that will have success for years to come. And that's why we've placed them so high, despite the fact they don't have super high competitive results.
Yeah, absolutely. And staying with the Texas theme, kind of on the other side of the spectrum, at number 15, we have North Texas. And so North Texas, similar to UTD, they're a school that have always appeared, but have never gotten to the peak of the mountain. This past season in Rocket League, they placed 3rd. So they're right there up with Akron and Northwood and all the other great schools, and I think that they're going to get that championship soon. They play Overwatch, League, Rocket League, like the usual. They don't offer a scholarship, but they offer winning percentages, and their program culture it's developing. So they have a really nice $200,000 media library that's shared among all the students and the players, and their community events are kind of more, I guess, within the school, which is kind of cool, as opposed to doing a big Discord tournament or something big on Twitch. They do dorm clashes with among the freshman dorm, and maybe that crosses over with the sophomores. And so that program is starting to build, and I think that North Texas will reach great heights in the coming year. But rounding out our discussion about this, Garrett, we at number 16 have Utah. What can you tell us about Utah?
Right. Utah University is one of the mainstays in esports because they were the first Power 5 school to really adopt an esports program. And what we see from that is Utah's just a little bit different from every other organization. It feels as if they lean into their prestige and history in traditional sports and try to tie that in with their esports program. This is a program where if you go to it, you're going to have trainers, nutritionists, whoever you need to be in your back pocket and to be helping you perform at your best level. Now, the thing about the University of Utah is they only compete in 4 esports: League of Legends, Rocket League, Overwatch, and Hearthstone, and they haven't seen as much success as they would like recently, with their last championship being in 2020 with their Overwatch team. Now, where they make up for those shortfalls is honestly in their scholarships. They give $5,000 scholarships out to their players, which is more than most, and that can honestly, if you're in state in Utah, that basically pays for your school. So I consider that basically a full ride scholarship. And then Utah has gone and made a whole ecosystem around their esports program with the entertainment, arts, and engineering program, where they really put a lot of focus into game development. This is one of the few esports programs where it's not really about esports totally, but it's about video games and video game culture. If you want to become a game designer and learn how to animate on games, well, guess what? University of Utah was just ranked #1 in video game animation this last year. They are a school that if you're interested in video game design and being inside the business of video games, this is the school for you to look for.
Absolutely. An important side note, cool ABC, I love you. That is, I love their Overwatch team. I really hope that their Overwatch team finds their footing in this upcoming season. But that is it for our show. We really hope that you enjoyed. And for this full list of our top 25 schools, make sure that you check it out at CheckointXP.com. And we hope you have a fantastic week.